Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I welcome you to another episode of this program, Islam is Beautiful. My name is Salma Aditulawal. Thank you for joining us.
Fortunate is he. Fortunate.
This program is sponsored in memory of Ajiya Fauziya Kende Lola Ali. May Allah grant her Al-Jannah Firdaus. Amin.
His thoughts of Allah and Judgment Day.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Today on the program we shall be taking a topic that every parent that has a teenage child would be interested in. Even if you don't have a teenage child, you have a teenage sister, you have a teenage cousin, niece, nephew, you will be interested in it. It is dealing with teenage children. And to do this chit-chatting with me, I have Sister Shifa.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sister Khadija.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sister Mistura.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Now, my sisters, why the need to take this topic in the first instance?
When we have children, okay, we start with the babies. Of course, it's a baby. The baby is helpless. We do a lot of things for the baby. Baby grows to become a toddler, and after toddlers, we have the young children, and after the young children, we go to the teenagers, which we call adolescents. Now, at this stage, the adolescence is when children are looking for independence. They are old enough to carry out certain tasks on their own. They want to make decisions, even though it's not time for them to make their own decisions. It is because of this that we often want to look into that age group, because a child wants to decide, wants to speak for himself, wants to carry out activities without informing you, without being told to, without guidance. He just feels that I'm old enough, I can do it, and I should be allowed to do it. Even though as parents we feel that we still need to guide them at this point in time. So because of this, and we know they're not ripe, or all decisions they make at this point in time may not be right, is the reason why we often look into this age. And bottom line, at this stage, they tend to be a bit rebellious, depending on how we handle them. So for this reason, we often try to look into it to see how we can raise them as better individuals, because after this, or at this point in time, any moment from within that age group, they are old enough to move into the world and be independent. So we say that a child of 18 is, for instance, is an adult, and we're looking at 13 to 19. It means that adulthood sets in even in this teenage period. So it is very important that we look into it and the children get proper guidance to carry on with their lives.
So that age group, to me, serves as the age where children make either the best decisions of their life or the worst decisions of their life. They make the best decisions if they decide to listen to their parents, and at that stage learn more about their deen and do righteous things, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Kunuma king, move with the righteous. At that point, if they move with the righteous, because it's also the point where peer pressure sets in. The child begins to listen more to his friends than people at home. He begins to listen to the decisions, to the advices of his friends. So at that point in time, the decisions he makes are no more influenced by mommy and daddy. They are more influenced by people that he or she moves with outside. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Furqan, verse 6 said, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, kun anfusakum wa ahlikum nar. Save you and yourself, save you and your family from the fire. When you have children, it's telling us that it's not just working about yourself now. It's not just saying, let me save myself from the fire of Jahannam. I don't want to go to hellfire. You have to help your children at that stage. Even though they won't let you, but the kind of foundation you set. That is why my advice at this point goes to parents with children that are still not yet within that age, including me, that form a good foundation. The foundation of the house, they say, determines the kind of house you build. Form a good foundation with your children. Form friendship with your children. Be the one they run back to. They will know that at that stage in time, they will always remember you. And then always pray for them. When you pray for them, even when they make decisions that you're not there, that is influenced by their peer, inshallah, it will be one that will be palatable to anybody that hears about it. So that age range is key. That is when the parent begins to work on his or her own children.
Yeah, in support of what my sister has said. The first thing is prayers. Once you start with prayers, and you as a parent, as a mother especially, you have the fear of God in you, you wake up at the proper time to say your prayers, and you call your child. You know, these children dote on us when they are still very young, the preteen years. Once you've already you have a confidence, then when she now enters into her teenage years, it's easy for you to be a confidant.
Okay.
That the friends out there, the peer group, I always say, don't ever underestimate the peer group influence. They have the way with children. If you say you are with your child, you've taught us so many things, my child, leave your child for 2 weeks. But make sure not, and if you think it's only on what you've taught your child that you want to rely on Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you leave your child for 2-3 weeks and the child comes back to you and she has interacted with her peers, you have a stranger on your hand. But if you're already a friend to your child from her preteen years, she already has a confidant and a friend in you. So regardless of all the adventure, and you can never know the extent of the adventures they will undergo. So you must know that whenever your child is back with you, you make sure you reel out all the things you taught her in the past and you watch her. You just don't assume my daughter went this way and she's back like that. You watch her, you listen quietly to don't put pressure, in a subtle way. Listen to her conversations on the phone. Watch how many times that phone rings and she'll tell you, Mommy, I'm coming. Don't ever believe in yourself that I've done my part and my child is a saint, she's an angel. Don't do that with any child.
Mashallah. Now from the explanation, it is that teenage doesn't just happen. It is something that it's a developmental process. There's a stage before that teenage age, and that stage is the preteen stage where you should, as a parent, you should have done a lot of work. For instance, a Muslim home, we don't play secular music, we don't use vulgar words, and your child suddenly picks it up at 13 and starts to use it. Now, you know her friends or his friends. How do you manage? How do you help the child? Do you still beat at that age?
No, we have to remember one thing clearly here, which is that for a teenage child, you must never rule out the fact that this cannot happen to my child. Like she said, in education we look at it that before this age, children still have strong bonds. They want mommy and they want daddy. But at this point in time, they want their friends. They want to have pals. They want to have cliques. They want to belong to a certain group.
They want to be free.
And they want to be free. Now, when a child gets to this point, you know that naturally a lot of things will happen. It is no longer about you. At that point in time, before then, you may be a child's role model. But at this point in time, you don't expect to still be that child's role model. The child would have picked up somebody else and would have moved on. And that is where what you give in, what you introduce the child to, matters. There's music, there's what's it called now, the internet here and there. As much as possible, from onset, even for younger children, screen what you give to your children, what you expose them to. You must screen, because when those things begin to come, especially at this time when you are not there, you cannot be there all the time, the child will have to make decisions. So it is what the child is used to, what the child sees as right, that the child will move on with. The important thing is to pray. You pray and guide. And Islam is a perfect religion. For everything that happens or will happen, there are ways of handling them in Islam. And that is why sometimes even we know that maturation, for instance, in Islam is different from what we expect it to be. Because for these children, what prompts their behaviors is the developmental process going on in them. The bodies change. The child becomes conscious of himself or herself, knows I'm no longer a child. I have certain things happening. The child has got feelings. These are the things that make the whole thing very dangerous and why we're always afraid.
Okay.
The feelings, the urges that come with it. So like I said, when there's maturation in Islam and you know that, okay, this child is mature, At this point in time, the child must say Salat. At this point in time, the child has to fast. All these are things that naturally will guide or help the child not to do certain things. A child who prays naturally will not want to do certain things. A child who fasts knows that while I'm fasting, I'm prohibited. Fasting prevents me from doing this. So we must be conscious of our deen and as much as possible guide the children and pray for them and never believe it cannot happen. Open your eyes, be aware, be conscious, and introduce your children to friends, the kind of friends you want them to keep. And when they go to get friends of their own, don't say never. See the friends. Make sure you see the friends and get to know those friends, because even when you say never, do not believe that the child will not go back. So it's better you are aware and you work with it and find a way around it than you put a ban, a sentence. Don't.
A stage and age they don't want to be controlled. So the aspect of the religion, it has to be already the foundation. The feedback mechanism sometimes, as my sister say, might not even be something you would have. It might just be spontaneous. Sometimes you might be talking to your daughter on the phone and she'll say, okay, mommy, I'm done. You notice she's already said, okay, mommy, I'm done. Don't drop the phone. I was talking to my daughter one day on the phone and she said, okay, mommy, I'm done. And then I just kept the phone on. And I heard her, she was saying, oh, my friend, this place is too far. This place is too far. So we are almost there. We are almost there. This place is too far. This place, you didn't tell me you were coming for this party. This is too far. That was how I heard that she was taking a friend to a party and she didn't even realize how distant the place was. Immediately she came home. I didn't say a word. I said, I had a dream. There's this friend of yours. She's dark. In that dream, what I saw. Said, oh, mommy, and there was a place she was taking you to. You don't have to be a witch or you don't have to be, so you know, there's no superpower. It's only a super God we have. So once we put them in the hands of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, let us just watch out for them. Watch out for them at all times. Don't let us theorize most things. Let us practicalize them. Let us be their friend. Let us talk to them. Talk to them on all issues and every issue, regardless of their age. Because sometimes these children, they will not start exhibiting these teenage traits early. It will be later in the years. Some extend it to 20, 21 years. When my own children had not started exhibiting these traits, I went to England. My friend's daughter was exhibiting the traits. I was like, I have a child this age now, but I didn't know my children too will exhibit it later. It's a phase. They must all go through it. So we must be patient and prayerful.
Okay. Now, patience and prayer. If a praying mother has raised a child and the later part of the teenage years starts to develop some of these traits. Now, if you have a child that is that becomes antagonistic, as in awesomely antagonistic, such that all that you have taught the child throws away and then stays on that one that he or she wants to learn. What are you supposed to do as a mother at that stage? Because it's usually as if, did I not do it? Or you start judging yourself. In fact, sometimes it makes you cry. I know mothers. Now, that is for a mother. What are the things that woman is supposed to do?
Yes, I think she should begin. I would say there's something that child wants. There's something wrong with that child that nobody understands. Until you can understand that thing, that is the only time you can solve the problem. I read a book that says that even family problems, not just adolescent problems now, even a man and a wife, some of them, they have issues because of something that one of the spouses can't say to the other. So he keeps boiling about it. It becomes action and reaction, action and reaction. I would advise mothers at that stage, it is wisdom. It's no more force, it's no more beating, it's no more shouting, it's no more you must do. It's just left for you to use wisdom to bring your child back, together with prayer. Like she said, she left the phone on. She could have, when the child came back, she spoke to her like an adult. Not that you've done this, then you shout the child, the child will listen to you and say yes, man, and go back and do whatever he or she wants to.
Because these children tend to experiment at this stage.
At that stage. So there's something leading him or her to that experiment. And like I said, your feedback mechanism should be able to feed you up. But if it is not, then use wisdom. Be patient. Don't push, because when you push, you only make things worse. When you try to force, you make things worse. Like Sister Shifa said, he wants a friend. He said no. Is it not a devil you know? Is it not better than one that you don't know? Bring the friends home, and be their friends. Then from there you will hear, and then you can call your child. You might not even say you heard. You just teach him.
And sometimes it's those friends that will tell you some things about the
And
child.
in addition to that, show them love. For example, they said the Prophet Sallallahu a young child came to him and he kissed the child. And one of the companions now said, I don't kiss my own child. The Prophet Sallallahu said, why will you kiss your child when Almighty Allah has removed the mercy in your heart? You know, when you're friends with them and you show them love, there's this piece my daughter got into there. She said, your love brings me home. Whenever your child remembers that all this woman has ever shown me is love, when peer group influence wants to push her in the wrong direction, and you've started her off with prayers, something will just nudge at her heart and tell her that, let me go back to this woman, let me go back home to love, please.
Especially when you're doing it sincerely for Allah's sake, raising the child for Allah's sake. Some of the time we think we can do it on our own.
We are living something else.
Okay.
The fathers. And we must remember something, that the way Allah has made things, He has made things in pairs. And naturally things, opposites attract. At this point in time, both parents are very, very important. Now we're saying mothers. Of course, mothers want to be there for both the males and the females. But the truth is, girls at this point in time prefer their fathers.
Okay.
That is where you see that, of course, if you ask most mothers with teenagers, they are just like cats and the mouse with their daughters. So the fathers have the listening ear. What does not work for you? What the child knows that if I go to my mommy doesn't do it, I go to daddy does it. The child prefers his or father, especially the female child. And for the male child just prefers his mom to his dad, because daddy feels that you're a man, you should rough it. You're a man, you should take it. You're a man, you should do everything. My mommy will want to, he's my boy, and give a listening ear. So both parents are very, very important at this point in time.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us and make it easy for us. Let's take a break now for our read a book segment and the question of the week segment. This question of the week is one that if you attempt, you may get a copy of the glorious Quran. Bismillah.
On this episode of the program, we shall be recommending to you this 234-page book titled Youth and Morals. Youth and Morals is a book written as an ideological and practical guide for the young, with the advantage of modern language skills, all in the bid to eradicate social corruption. It analyzes various social and behavioral issues in a new style, relying on divine verses of the Holy Quran, prophetic narrations and traditions, and also sayings of notable scholars. It educates the soul and trains the mind to accept the assigned psychological and behavioral methods in dealing with the issues of life, especially those that concerns the young. The guidelines given therein gives the reader an opportunity to counter and prevent social corruption, achieve moral excellence, and live as happy human beings. Take this book today, read, and give your mind a value-adding task. Remember, readers are leaders.
Child, crazy things I used to do, and all the pain I put you through. Mama, now I'm here for you. For all the times I made you cry, the days I told you lies. Now it's time for you to rise. For all the things you sacrificed. Oh, if I could turn back time, rewind. If I could make it undone, I swear that I would make it up to you. Mama, grown up now, it's a brand new day. I'd like to put a smile on your face every day. Mama, grown up now, and it's not too late. I'd like to put a smile on your face every day. Now I finally understand the famous line about a day I'd face in time. 'Cause now I've got a child of mine, and even though I was so bad, I've learned so much from you. Now I'm trying to do it too. Love my kid the way you do. Oh, if I could turn back time, rewind. If I could make it to me. Oh, if I could turn back time, rewind, if I could make it undone, I swear that I would make it up to you. Mama, grown up now, it's a brand new day. I'd like to put a smile on your face every day. Mama, grown up now, and it's not too late. I'd like to put a smile on your face every day. Mama, grown up now, it's a brand new day. I'd like to put a smile on your face every day. Mama, grown up now, and it's not too late. I'd like to put a smile on your face every day. The number one for me, the number one for me.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin, you're welcome back. This is still Islam is Beautiful, and we're rounding up now. Now, dealing with teenage children, we have talked so much about it, but there's a mother out there that is wondering what would she give to her child that has become so. I saw a girl, a teenage girl, talking to the mother. The woman could not control the girl, as in she has lost hope. She could not control the girl. The girl was just talking to her anyhow. There's this mother there too that can control her child, is getting, as in she's getting it, but she has this fear that she's hoping not to miss it because she has seen this program and they've told her that it can happen later. Now there's a teenager out there that knows that what she's doing to her parents is deceit, because these children are very smart. Sometimes they know what the parents want, they will give the parents what they want and do whatever they want. So let us give advice to these three sets of people in our own way, in one sentence.
My advice to the mother will be to just continue to pray. There are recommended prayers in the Quran. Mothers should continue to say, Rabbi habli min as-salihin. Rabbi, my Lord, make my children part of the righteous one. They should also say, Rabbi ij'alini, make me part of Rabbi ij'alini, make me Rabbi ij'alini muqima as-salati wa min zurriyati Rabbana wa taqabbal du'ai. Make me and my offspring part of those who observe salat and accept my prayers. We cannot keep quiet, because as you said, there's a tendency that you've done everything, but you still leave everything in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Okay. And you know, there are some mothers who don't do anything and they have very good children.
That is where Allah comes in.
The God factor.
Yes, should not stop praying.
There's a God factor.
Yes, there's definitely a God factor, especially in the raising, of a child and winning of a child. And for the mother who is apprehensive of her child, that, okay, she's doing what my bidding now, or she might change or might interact with the wrong people, tell her not to panic. Our sisters out there, all they should know is that once you are with Almighty Allah, you are under the right umbrella, and you will never grieve. Over our children will not grieve, over our husbands will never grieve. And there'll be the coolness of our eyes, inshallah.
For the mother and the teenage child, well, I think what I have to say is this. Mothers, you can only do what is human. Like she said, Allah is the one that crowns one's efforts. So you only ask Allah to crown one's efforts. Then being apprehensive of whether I'm doing it right, what we know, which is certain, that for those who work righteously, you will triumph.
Sure.
So continue to do what is necessary, continue to do what is right, continue to raise the child like Allah has said. And inshallah, whatever it is, even when things are going wrong, we are supposed to continue to believe that it will be right. So continue to have faith that it will go right. And for a teenage child, well, for some of us, we believe that teenage is just a phase of madness. And the madness, like everything that has a beginning, it will have an end. The madness will go away. It will only take time. So that's where the prayers and the guidance comes in.
MashaAllah. Thank you very much. Now, that's the spirit. For every single act of worship that we do. Our children are watching us. Let us be their role model. Let us know in our heart of heart that we are doing it for Allah's sake. And some of these things we do not know that these children are watching. You may lie, you may say a word of lie and not know that it will have a very, very long-term effect on the child. So the best thing as a Muslim parent is say the truth always. Always try and make it a point of duty to do it as Islam has enjoined us to do it, and that way we are sure that whatever comes out of the upbringing of that teenage child that we have is Allah's will. If you have done your part, let Allah's will be done, and that way you will be convinced within yourself that you have played your part. The rest is left for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has the will, the power to do all things. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us. We thank everyone who has made it possible for this program to come on air today, and we say thank you too for watching. Do join us again for another enlightening episode of this program, Islam is Beautiful. And like we always say, our slogan is don't tell people that you are a Muslim, let them see, show them that you are a Muslim. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us good Muslims and help us to make Islam beautiful. For my sisters and I here, we say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.